On this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast, when's the last time you woke up with just a cloak, a cauldron, and a pair of heels?
Ding dong, bitches. Let's do this. Welcome to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. I'm Diana.
And I'm Liz.
And this week we're going to talk about Season 9, Episode 4, Slumber Party.
And we are totally in our 90s, and we are having a pillow fight.
Absolutely.
And we're going to watch Grease, and I will probably comment on, how it's problematic, and Sandy needs to live for herself. But, that's what we do during slumber parties in this day and age. What have you been up to?
Funny enough, Dave was watching Grease the other day. That's just really random. Anyways, it was on TV. He's like, there's nothing on. I'm like, okay. Yeah, I mean, what have I been doing? I went and saw my friend play music. It was a Joshua Ray Walker show with a bunch of friends, and that was very fun. And we also had a day of sadness in our household as we said goodbye to one of our herd, Miss Faith. Finally, her illness was progressing too much, and so we had to make a very, very, very sad decision. So that's my Bummersville story. That's what I got.
way to just bring the whole podcast down.
I know.
We're sorry to tell you,
I know.
But, it's always sad to lose one of your fur babies.
It is. What about you?
So I finished watching The Boys, and that is, wow, Krifke, still just disturbing. I didn't think I just keep my mind is, I can't spoil it, but there's a superpower somebody has at the end of it, and it is quite spectacular. Huh. It was quite a thing, but the end of it did end with, I don't want to spoil this. I don't give a shit. So spoiler alert here if you want to know how this last thing is, but you shouldn't be surprised as it involves Jensen Ackles, and this is a supernatural podcast. And so I'm going to spoil things that involve Jensen Ackles and are all over the goddamn internet. So at the end of The Boys finale, they show Soldier Boy in his glass coffin, which I think... I don't even watch. I haven't even watched since the first season of The Boys. My confession there that I would like to pick it back up. I just haven't. And I even knew that they were saying Soldier Boy was coming back. I would like to volunteer. I know it's not there is some consensual problems with this, but to go kiss Mr. Soldier Boy in the glass coffin to see if that will wake him up out of his coma. I have heard that is a thing that you do, right? That is what they've been doing to princesses for all time. So we might as well try it on a dude in a coffin. I don't know. So I did that. And then I started watching The Good Witch, if you don't know, is
I've seen the previews.
Yeah, it's a Hallmark Channel show. I've seen bits and pieces of it. They had some movies, but the premise is Cassie is a witch and she lives in a town, and she's, from a magical family, but because it's a Hallmark thing, they never actually show Cassie, at least so far. Like, I haven't seen her actually do magic. Like, she just, she knows things, or things happen, off camera, a fire will light, oh, look, now there's fire. So I'm behind the scenes, is she worshiping the dark arts, dancing with Satan? No. How is she getting her powers? What pantheon is she following? Is she a solitary witch? Does she have a coven? None of these things are being explained, just that she's a good witch, right? And then I also was wondering, because it's a Hallmark thing, at the Hallmark Christmas party, does the other Hallmark people shun the witch people, and they're oh no, get away from me, your Satanist is going to rub off on me, you demon witch people. And Candace Cameron's just oh no, get thee away from me, Satan. I'm pretty sure that's exactly how that works. So, yeah. I mean, yeah. So that's what I've been up to.
Okay. And
I also had a birthday, and I really
it was
don't
your
care.
birthday. I know. I just have to say it again.
Well,
So,
thank you.
there we
I
go.
appreciate it.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, and Diana is sending me cupcakes that got screwed because one of the companies in my former life screwed the pooch so bad. Now the world knows their name, which is, so most of the world kind of knew their name, but now the whole world knows their name. Yes. Except occasionally I hear people pronounce it wrong, and that makes me feel even better when they're like, just like, oh man, like they're talking shit about you and they're saying your name wrong.
That's even worse. That's even worse.
Yeah. So that's been a delicious treat for me all week, is I've just been calling Robin, seeing the pain of that. And the fact also that they're going to get called to testify before Congress. And therefore that means that technology is going to have to be explained to people in Congress. And that's always a delight.
Oh God. And
somehow it's going to end up like involving Russia.
I mean, doesn't it always?
It does. So anyhow, so that's it. And I think it's time for us to talking about Slumber Party.
Yes.
So this first aired October 29th, 2013. And it was directed by Robert Singer, who also, if you're unaware, there is a character within The Boys named Robert Singer that is played by the former Bobby Singer, aka, what the fuck is Bobby Singer's real name?
Jim Beaver?
Jim Beaver. I just made some Jim Beaver's name. So Jim Beaver plays him, and also, spoiler alert, they nodded to Supernatural when he said "idjit" followed by balls in one of the episodes. So nice. So I'm glad there was that throwback. And this was written by Robbie Thompson. So we start off with the recap, and it's Charlie.
Yeah, a lot of Charlie and the bunker. That's what we got. Yeah. Charlie in the bunker.
Oh, so bunker. Yeah, we're getting a bunker episode. And we also they remind us that Charlie has a problem with authority. I do appreciate that.
Well, our episode opens in black and white in 1935. And it is two guys from the Men of Letters going into the bunker. And they they're all fancy with their suitcases handcuffed to their wrists, and they use these fancy keys to do this protocol to plug in these bulbs, and then it activates the bunker. And as they get in, we find out their names are Peter and James. And James is like, this place is a dump. But Peter's like, no, it's exciting. This is the epicenter.
It's awesome.
Yeah, the epicenter of the chess match between good and evil. And obviously they play chess because they're killing time. But they're both fucking bored. And now
because
Peter
no matter how awesome a place is, if it's your job, eventually it's going to be boring. No matter, like everyone says, like, love what you do. Even if you love what you do, it's still a job.
I mean, work is still work. I love what I do, but sometimes it's still just fucking
it's just
work.
Like, So anyways, so James also thinks that adventure is bad.
Yeah, because Peter's like, I wanted excitement and adventure, and James is like, no adventure. You don't want adventure.
You say that, but you really don't. And to be fair, as you know, I am one who often is excited about going off on adventures. Sometimes, adventure can be bad.
It's true.
And stressful. So just when, what about some adventure? The phone rings. And this phone is awesome. I would like to hand this to my designers and have this in my house.
This is my aesthetic.
Yes, the phone has Men of Letters symbol on it, but also it has no dial pad. So clearly it is a one-way phone that nobody can call you on. This is also the type of phone I want, one that nobody can call me on.
Well, either way, they answer in it, but they're going to have a guest, and all they know is all it's said for the audience to hear is that it's Frank's kid.
It's Frank's kid. And who comes waltzing in looking all Amelia Earhart and shit?
It's Dorothy.
Oh, Dorothy.
Dragging a person in a bag.
And she wants to know which of them is going to help her kill the Wicked Witch. Dun, dun, dun.
So I'm going to pause here because I'm not going to lie. It didn't really all come together in my head until post viewing the whole thing. So now we're obviously going to have a Wizard of Oz tie-in, right? And it's in black and white. Very well done. And Slumber Party, which is kind of an alluding to when Dorothy was she asleep or not? Like that whole thing. I think there's my things that I processed after the fact. So, from there, we pop to the present. And so we've got Sam goes in to visit Crowley. And while he's visiting Crowley, he hands him a piece of paper and a crayon because he wants more demon names. And Crowley's like, yeah, that's nice. I want a room with a view, or at least at a minimum to stretch my legs. But so we go to the present-ish, and it is color, and it's Sam visiting Crowley.
Behind the files. In the file dungeon? I don't know. Anyways. And he hands him a piece of paper and a crayon. I hand you crayon paper. Because they want more names of demons. But Crowley's like, that's great. I would like a room with a view and to stretch my legs. But Sam just walks away. Yeah, I don't think you're going to get your demands. But so leave him down there. And it's later upstairs.
Yeah. And Sam is researching. Dean comes back and apparently he found Kevin.
In Branson. Have you been to Branson?
I have not.
I kind of want to go, but I also kind of I don't know. Like, I want to go. I just want to go in a very ironic way, and I don't want to go in a sincere way, but I don't want to be mean to people either. So I shouldn't go to Branson. But Dean has decided to be a very good brother and has gotten something that the entire family can enjoy.
Season 1 of Game of Thrones.
Which I think is actually a really good pick for them. We've learned that, Dean likes battle scenes and LARPing and things, and Sam's a nerd.
Yeah. Guess what I have never watched?
I'm shocked. I'm really not interested.
Anyways.
It's so good, though. It really is. It is very good.
Nothing I've heard about it makes me want to watch it, but that's okay.
I don't think it's your show, but it's very good. So Sam has found a way to help Cass. However, he does not understand why did Cass leave? Why is it here?
Yeah. It just dawned on him that he doesn't really know why Cass left. The fuck?
Some things are weird.
So Dean fumbles through some fucking excuses.
He does his little song dance. Yep.
Yeah. But Sam was all excited because remember, we were all excited when the map table lit up for Kevin when all the angels were falling. So Sam's like, that was the angels falling. Can we rig the table to track the angels? What?
That is a very smart idea.
I love this idea. And Dean asks if it was Sam's idea, which I think is a weird question. And then I'm like, oh shit, is this a Crowley thing? But I don't think it was.
No, it's not a Crowley. It's a Sam Zekiel. Did Zekiel think of this and then give it to Sam? I think it's what Dean was going at. And then Sam is still like, what are you talking about? Because we get a lot of that throughout this episode.
We do. But Sam found the
cables,
big cables, which he traced down to the computer room.
So now we have a server room, computer room, a mainframe, but it is a cube computer from 1951 and it's adorable. Yes. Because that's the sound I imagine that computer makes. It goes burp, 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 burp. And I bet CrowdStrike couldn't have fucked that one up with an update. Oh!
It's like all the memes about how Southwest didn't go down because their servers and anyways, no shade. It's just a funny thing on the internet. Anyways, so Dean's gonna just pry the big old back off of this console computer, and while he's doing it, he bumps a shelf. And by now, you think that we know, they know, don't bump into shit. And if you do, check it.
But also, okay, so what?
Why
again,
are there jars of liquids in the computer room?
Exactly. Like, what the fuck, men of letters? So you're putting your dungeon in with your files and your archives, and now you've got bottles of goo in your server room or whatever this computer thing is. I feel like a man organized this because, or some, I don't know. Like, I think this is because it's men of letters. I think if it was women of letters, shit would have been probably where it was supposed to be. There would have been Marie Kondo would have been in there, or the edit bitches, and like everything would have had a label and been organized, not just some bottle of goo that falls on the whatever. So, anyways.
Well, inside the computer, there are no wires or cables. They're just some fucking light bulbs. So this computer has no handbook, no IT support, and I don't know. It might be powered by magic.
Which, okay, one, in case you didn't know, all computers are powered by magic. I have a master's in this, and I can tell you that is indeed the secret. It's all fucking magic. But so the light bulbs, though, to me, that does make sense, because if you think about a computer being programmed in 0 and 1s, a lot of times that's just on and off. Right. Yeah. So
I know.
but the light bulbs are probably irrelevant because they're just pretty. Like, why would you don't
they're the
need
pretty
that
vintage
there?
bulbs.
But
those are expensive. Those Edison bulbs are expensive.
Those Edison bulbs are expensive and they're fucking hot, right? So there's no fan I see in here. But anyways, it's still a fun place. But so now they have to call Men of Letters IT.
Sure. But before they do that, the bottle definitely spills ominously, is my note. I wrote, the bottle spills ominously. What was I writing when I made these notes? I'm just making fun.
Was it storming and you're like, on this night, a bottle ominously spilled. The translucent goo glistened as it poured down the crevice of the wall.
And spread upwards. Yeah, anyways. So we cut back to 1935, so it's black and white again. And I guess James and Peter are trying to interrogate the Wicked Witch, but it's kind of hard because Dorothy cut her tongue out.
Yes, and she has caught her all by herself, despite her lady parts. And at this point is when I start to realize how much I love this fucking witch. I think this witch is there's a lot of Carol Kane energy to her. I think is one of the reasons that but she's just adorable, and like her reactions to things, like when she can't say, just her facial reactions are she's just fantastic, and I love her.
Well, Dorothy just wants to kill her because she's tried cutting off her head, burning her, dousing her with holy water, and all she's done is laugh at it. So
and the witch will not die. She just will not die.
Mm-mm. So back in modern-ish times, present-ish, guess who Men of Letters' new IT department is?
It's Charlie. Because of course it is.
Of course it is.
And also, she got fired because her company was outsourcing child labor. So she took a big wiki leak all over that, which is also really funny because Assange just got out of prison, and it's really weird. Assange is free. We live in a world where Julian Assange is free. That's just crazy.
But she outlined her hobbies as LARPing. She's been spending time on her hobbies: LARPing, macrame, and hunting. Because apparently she's done a couple of cases on her own lately.
A teenage vampire and a ghost, which sounds like a YA novel, which we would both have probably read.
Correct. And
I learned that there's a new name for a new genre of books. Is called a crossover, and it's for people who are not crossover. God damn, I can't remember the exact name of it. But it's for people who are our age who want to read the YA books, but we're too old to read the YA books. So they're YA books are actually written for adults, and apparently we're a very large market. Anyhow, so I feel I don't know
how I feel about that. Okay.
I know.
So, but she's just upset because she thought hunting would be more, quote, magical. So, they're like, okay, we'll talk about this later. We don't like that you're hunting alone, but let's go look at this computer.
Yeah, and she can somehow tell that this machine has encryption software and also that it's powered by magic. Because again, she's a computer expert and she knows that all computers are powered by magic. But you can't just tell something has encryption software by looking at it. That's not software. Software is inside a thing and it makes the thing run. Like I can't just look at my Mac in studio and go, you're encrypted. I honestly don't know.
Right.
Really
yeah. Well, either way, so they're like, that's fine. Can you make it track angels for us? She's like, sure, I'm on it. And she plugs in her laptop and
no. That is not even a laptop. That is a fucking Surface tablet.
I know.
Yeah,
nice.
So she has now fucking has this 1951 machinery that is programmed in some fucking language that has encryption, quote unquote, software and magic, and yet somehow it can talk with the Microsoft Surface tablet that can't even be used to order somebody's drink on a Delta flight right now. So I mean, sorry.
But I mean, that assumes the Delta flight took off, Liz. Anyways, so sorry.
It's just too much of a fun week. But anyways,
so it has a USB port. Is that what this computer has now?
She is also it has a magical. Yeah, you know how I had to hunt down USB anyways. Okay, so
where do you get the dongle for that one?
Yeah, yeah. So the boys are now lecturing her on hunting alone.
Yeah, and she's like, I don't know. She's just not she grew up reading magical stuff, and she just really wants to be able to have that part of it.
Yeah. So they lecture her on this hunting alone, and then they're also just so can you really work on getting our books deleted from the internet? And she's like, I can't do that. However, besides that, even all the unpublished books have been uploaded, and they have been uploaded by somebody named Becky Winchester 176.
Yeah, which is hilarious. So while she's downloading all of the files from this computer to her Microsoft Surface.
What files? This thing before was just supposed to be an Angel Alarm. We have now gone from it being Angel Alarm to being encrypted to now it has an archive on it.
The files.
That are also encrypted, and that's what's going to take so long is for these files to decrypt.
And they'll be totally compatible on the Microsoft Surface. Anyway,
it really hurts. It's hurt. You know they know this is wrong. You know it hurts.
Oh, they know it's bullshit. So they have to. So, but they're gonna go watch Game of Thrones in the meantime. Though Charlie's already watched it, of course.
Yeah, we're about to hear my wine pop on the audio, so everyone block your ears, or maybe our engineer can block it out. I don't know, but oh, there it goes.
So satisfying.
Yeah.
And Sam's reading the books as well. But she's looking around this room because apparently they're watching in Sam's room. She's like, when are you actually going to move in here? And he's like, well, this isn't home. This is where we work. And Dean's like, what's the difference? As he goes to get beer. And while Dean's getting beer, Sam asks Charlie what's not magical about hunting. And she's just, she just wants a quest. She was raised on Tolkien and she just wants a quest. And Sam's like, yeah, magic and quests suck.
Yeah, being chosen sucks. Or once again, is a sign that you're in a cult. You are never chosen. If someone's telling you're chosen, run. So, but then we get this fun little cut where he's like, basically, it's either suck or it leads to a, and then we go to the past. It's like dead end.
So back in black and white 1935, Peter and James have hit their dead end researching. And the witch breaks free. Peter pulls a knife, but she is able to touch his head and his eyes glow green. And this is a really cool effect where it's black and white and his eyes glow green.
Yeah, I also feel like, did y'all figure out you could do this in season 9? So now we've got like Sam Ezekiel's blue eyes. Now we've got green eyes.
Yep.
Like yellow eyes was just a contact thing, right? Like Yeezy League back then.
It wasn't
like,
that glowy.
It wasn't a glowing effect. They just put yellow contacts in. And then was somebody just like, hey guys, we can just do this in post. And now they're just like, whatever eyes we want. Like, cool, emerald green.
And you get a crazy deep voice, something here that belongs to me, take me to it. So anyways, so it's the witch's voice, but through Peter. Anyways, but Dorothy makes a run for it. Peter and Witch Peter and James are fighting, and Peter gets stabbed and dies. But
yes,
James
and he does get
after...
to have but his death is very epic. And I think it's as every actor's like probably dream death, where he gets to really be
slow
like
stab and fall.
And like as he's dying, he's like, "You're right. There's nothing worse than adventure."
I know. Yeah. Well, yeah. So James goes after Dorothy, and she's closed herself in the lab, and the door is glowing.
Yes, and so this is room 28. So this is the I think it's interesting. Like they also have just a very random. Like some rooms are numbered, some things are not. But so then we are back to our present
ish, and they are back in the computer room to check on the downloads and decryptions. But they suddenly notice that the wall behind the shelf that they bumped into earlier is covered in this weird webby shit. I don't know. And so Dean decides to go cut it open.
For some dumb fucking reason. Like, what the fucking hell no? Like, I'd be like, okay, first, I would poke it, because I would have to poke it. And like, after I poked it.
Call the exterminator.
Well, maybe I call an exterminator or get like a LiDAR or radar or like a microscope, something that could see inside of it before I just like randomly go poking, all the way poking it. But inside of it, there's Dorothy.
Yeah, Dorothy just falls out. Ta-da! And she wakes up. And it's like, holy shit, because apparently there's an official incident report. And this was the first case investigated in the bunker. Ooh.
I would be Dorothy all about all of these incident reports. They sound awesome. Like, I want to write them. I want to read them. They sound so great.
Well, Dorothy and the witch went into this lab room, closed the door, and never came out. Oh. So Charlie's stoked, and Sam wants to talk. Dorothy's mocking the men of letters. She is unimpressed about them being buried in their books and assumes that Charlie is a secretary.
Yes, and she is shocked that it's possible that there is a woman of letters. And yes, ma'am, yes, there can be.
And that Sam and Dean are hunters.
Yes, but now we learn that we can figure out Dorothy is also a hunter, and we've learned that earlier. But I think that is hilarious.
It is.
Dorothy the hunter.
Yeah, and they're all like, she's kind of shocked that she's been like gone-ish for 75 years. So back to 1935. What happened in the lab? Dorothy had a bottle and a bunch of ingredients and cuts her hand, and she said, "It's you and me." Dorothy says, "It's you and me forever, bitch." And we get a bright light, and they both disappear.
And so she has cast a binding spell on them. But the thing is that if Dorothy is awake, then so is the witch. Yeah.
So back in the present time, Dorothy is explaining that she did this binding spell, and the price was that she had to tie her soul to the witch's, because basically the witch can't hurt her. And so they're tied together now.
Sure.
I mean, yeah.
They're bound. They're bound to each other, and yes, there's some sort of magical crap in it. But so our wonderful, wonderful Alfie Felba is awake, and she is met Crowley.
Of course she has. And he realizes that she can't talk. So he's kind of giving her a hard time, but then he tosses the paper and crayon to her to
he
write
asks her
what
the
she
cowardly lion has got her tongue. He is a big fan of hers. He is just amazing with her.
Is he? So weird. Anyway, so she's got the crayon and paper. So let's see if we can find out what she's there for. Back in the other room, we've got Dorothy is like, hey, look, we've got to figure out what she wants here because there's something here that she is after.
Oh, yes. This is why that the witch it's not because like their souls are combined. The witch can't kill Dorothy because she's protected by the Witch of the North Kiss. And Charlie remembers that because that was in one of the books. It was not in the movie. It was in one of the books.
Okay. I forgot. But Charlie's going to research and trying to figure out what can stop, hurt, or kill the witch. Sam and Dean are going to go look for the witch, but they want Dorothy to stay with Charlie, which is a good call. And they compliment Charlie by calling her the smartest person in the room. Oh. So Charlie wants to know about Oz because Charlie likes magic, and this is magic and adventure, and that's what she thinks she wants. And basically they discuss the wizard himself and being a total ass and nicer in the books. And she's like, but Dorothy's like, those books were just the ravings of a sad old man. And she's talking about her father. So basically her father was a man of letters and he is the author of the books.
So her father then becomes L. Frank Baum, which then becomes really interesting since, you know, he is a real person. Mm-hmm. And just really interesting, you know, like some of the political things that I'm throwing in the book, like, and, you know, like, then, you know, she says, you know, basically Dorothy is implying that all the men of letters are sexist, and there's been some things that's gone through L. Frank Baum, but his mom was actually a suffragette, which I just think is really interesting. Like, so we have Frank Baum's mom being a suffragette, and then we have Dorothy in there. I don't know. So, but like, so I do think that's interesting though, just putting like the real person, but now we're kind of fictionalizing him a bit, right?
Right.
So,
well, and I think it's
fun.
interesting that Charlie kind of defends the men of letters here. Cause she's like, yeah, they can be sexist sometimes, but they're also wicked smart.
And James kept her file open, and he worked it every day until he retired.
Yeah, that's really
Apparently he didn't do a damn good job of it, but he worked it every day until he retired. I mean, that could also have been like a week. Well, like, what if like they didn't say like, what if he retired like the next day? Like he worked it every day.
Well, she was looking at the actual file, so I think she would know. But he did find a way to fight the witch, and that was through the poppies. So anyway, so they're gonna go make poppy bullets.
Yeah, which, you know, and now I think it's smart. Like they're just making like bullets out of everything that they need, and they're just putting them, you know, in that. So they're going to go to the range.
Well, Sam and Dean enter Crowley's file dungeon, where he is whistling Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
And then he makes a wicked joke, and then they're like, "What did she say?" And then Crowley just gives something like.
It's so amazing when he hisses. I was so happy.
It's so good. Also for Diane, one of the other things that I was, you know, watching in my laying on the couch weekend was old episodes of Leverage, because Creation Entertainment has that electric convention, and I wanted to see what those shows were. So anyways, Mark Sheppard is in old episodes of Leverage, and he's very young in that. And then I know I was texting you being like, when did his voice become like this, right? As a teenager, did Mark Sheppard sound like this at like 14? Was he like, hey, I need to pass my algebra test? Like, but British, I guess. So anyhow, I was just thinking about him as like a young punk rocker, but with like, not that voice, but like having like, did he ever have like a squeaky voice?
Oh, that'd be weird. I doubt it.
I hope he comes to Austin and we can find out. Anyhow. All right.
Well,
so we got so after the hiss.
Yeah, in exchange for him telling them what the witch is after, he wants to stretch his legs. So they unchain him and let him stand up for a minute. And anyways, and he's trying to like last longer, and Dean shoots at him. So
Dean shoots him.
He shoots. Yeah,
like you do, I guess. I don't know. Like this is random, just shooting people. Shooting the poor little demon.
So what we get is a piece of paper that just says key on it.
That's is what she was looking for. Key. At least she knew it in English. So she knew
that's
that
true.
word.
Yep. And Crowley's like, I don't know which key it is. I don't know where it is, but to buy y'all some time, I told her that you keep the keys in the kitchen. Bye. So Sam and Dean have to make sure Crowley's secure, and then they go to the kitchen. And it is a fucking mess.
She just trashed it.
But in addition to the witch not being there, Charlie is there with her poppy bullets. So she disperses those and explains that they won't kill the witch, but they will stun her. So, but Dorothy's like, oh, I know what key she wants. It's a magical key, or it's a key to Oz. But so you can get through to Oz from a tornado, through the eye of a hurricane, in a whirlpool, or this key turns any locked door into a portal to Oz.
What? I mean, that's pretty cool, right?
Yeah. But if the witch goes back, she's going to destroy Oz with her army of witches and flying monkeys.
Yay, flying monkeys. Okay. So I know they're supposed to be bad, but I can't help it. I love a flying monkey. All right. And so also Dorothy then shows them a picture of the key in a diary. The diary says, keep it safe.
And Dean's like, oh yeah, I know where that is. It's in my room. So they go.
He has a sense memory for it because he looked at it after he looked at his Asian busty beauties buddies.
That's true.
So Dean then becomes his overprotective self.
Yeah, and he wants Charlie to go sit it out in the dungeon because
he wants to go hide in the dungeon. Isn't that where Crowley is?
I know.
This doesn't seem like a good idea.
Terrible
I feel
idea.
like is there another dungeon we don't know about? Like, is there a second dungeon? I was
wondering. Is there a dungeon 2? I don't know. But she's like, no, this is a quest. Sorry. So
let's have the key.
Mm-hmm. So, Dorothy's talking to Sam about like, how long have y'all been here? And Dean's like, well, I call home, but Sam's like, I haven't had best luck with homes. And Dorothy's the same. She's like, oh yeah, I prefer the open road.
Homes are overrated.
The witch is there. Oh
yeah, no. She's there. She's so fun. And then she disappears as green smoke. So now in addition to having different eyes this season, now this is also the season of different color cock smoke. So we have enough to do a Christmas tree, right? Well, a black,
glowy eyes and cock smoke.
Well, I guess we have Abaddon's doing red, right? So we've got the red Abaddon smoke, we've got the white angel smoke, we've got the green smoke. Yeah, we can make a flag for Mexico or for Italy or Spain. We can do a lot of things with smoke now.
Yeah. So they decide to split up to find the witch, though. So Charlie and Dean team up, and while they are looking for the key, she comments on his meticulously organized porn collection.
They are nice archival boxes. I do know those. Those are actually pretty cool. I've commented on the Bunkers archival boxes before. They're good.
And just as they find the key, the witch appears and grabs it. And she's just about to zap Dean, but Charlie jumps in the way
of her electric fingers. She just jumps right in the middle of it.
She protects Dean. She saves him, but she gets hit. And so Dean and the witch cock smokes out. So green cock smokes out. So Dean puts Charlie on the bed, and Sam comes running in as Dean calls to Zeke because Charlie is not responsive. This is not good.
So I do feel like this is a crutch now. Anytime things happens is I need my angel on command.
What the fuck? I think this is going to backfire. Anyways, so we get Blue Eye, we get Sam Ezekiel, and he's like, Dean's like, help her. And he's like, she's gone. Dean's, no. And you did it for Cass. And he's like, I'm barely back to half strength. And it, every time I do this, it uses power. And the more things I do, the longer I've stayed in your brother.
Ew. Phrasing.
And he's like, I can help with the witch, or I can save your friend. And Dean's like, save her.
And then he says, as you wish. I'm like, what are you, a fucking genie now? Or are you like Wesley, like doing like, what the fuck? Like, what is happening? I don't like it.
I don't know, but he does. And
he boops her.
He boops her, and she pops up and says, Merry Christmas.
And Sam gets knocked against a wall.
Yeah. And as they all kind of come back to, because now she's like confused, and Sam's waking up confused and wants to know what happened. And Dean lies like, oh, Charlie got zapped and got the, the witch got the drop on you. I don't know.
I do my lie, my truth, my stretch in the truth dance.
And Dorothy's like, witch might be gone right now, but she is not gone for good. She's just wounded. So we got to find her. And they have one last poppy bullet left because they've been shooting this bitch. And she gets stunned or whatever. Yeah. But she like smokes out instead of like falling down.
Well, they said it would just stun her. But then I'm also kind of like, what's the point? Like, do you just have to shoot her in a certain place? Are these bullets even worth it?
You just end up chasing her away. Like, I don't know.
I don't understand. But Charlie wants to be best friends with Dorothy, and it's adorable.
Yeah. And so they hang out while Sam and Dean go try to shoot the witch. And Sam wants to know who Zeke is. He asks Dean because he heard that. Dean
heard you say that, and then just what? I don't know what you're talking about.
So Charlie tells Dorothy that while she was out, quote unquote, she had a dream, and it was Christmas, and there was presents and her parents and all this. And Dorothy's like,
no, bitch, you died.
That was not a dream. You died. That was your heaven. But anyways, you're not a real hunter till you died and come back. So ta-da. There you go. Because witch sap equals instant death. Yeah, witch sap equals instant death. I know this because I died in Oz, and there we go. And so basically, she's trying to explain how she's trying to kind of like explain how what she was doing in Oz. It's very odd.
Yeah, so it becomes like the real story of what happened in Oz before it got watered down in the books. And so she goes to Oz and she meets up with these freedom fighters, and they protected her. And then a witch turned them into a scarecrow, a lion, and a tin man. Then the witch hunted her down and killed her.
Yeah.
That sounds like a way better Wizard of Oz movie. I'd watch the shit out of that.
Huh. Well, back with Sam and Dean. Dean's asking Sam why he never really moved in. And Sam actually finally explains a little bit why he's not settled in there, because he doesn't have the memories that Dean has of home with mom and dad. So he doesn't have a perception of a home in that same way.
Yeah.
And I think anytime he does, it doesn't end well.
Yeah, and I think this is a very important distinction to kind of make. And so we can but at the same time, like, yeah, but you can nest a little, Sam. Like, what the hell? Like, you don't need to be so, I forget the word that means when you're being really frugal about how you live, but austere, something like that. Anyways.
Austere?
I don't know. But pull the stick out of your ass, Sam. Hang up the kitty poster.
And so back, Charlie and Dorothy, I'm trying to combine them, Charlie's asking Dorothy about the books. And she's like, yeah, that my father's revisionist history to undo what happened. But that's all the books were. Because when the witch came to our world, Dorothy became a hunter, and that's what her dad wrote them.
Yeah, but Charlie points out that it's not just her dad glossing over the truth. They're really her dad leaving her clues, and she should get over herself and use them.
So they go to the fucking garage.
They go to let's get to the garage. There's a garage in this place, and we have to wait to talk about this because they say we're going to go to the garage, and Sam's doing a bad job of clearing a room, and he gets attacked by the witch.
Yeah. And basically she gets to brain tap both Sam and Dean and tell them, find the girls and kill them both.
All right. So now that's happened. So we have finally come to the motherfucking garage, which I've been waiting since we entered the bunker for Diana to see.
Oh my gosh. Cars on cars and motorcycles. It is so cool. We've got at least the main three that you can easily identify of vehicles right away. You've got a 55 Thunderbird, a 50s is either Jaguar or MG, and Model T for sure, and then another Roadster. And then you've got Dorothy's 1930s, maybe 40s, but 30s. It has to be 30s because of this. It looks kind of 40s. Indian motorcycle. It's beautiful. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's an Indian Junior Scout 600cc V2. Okay, it was built between 1937 and 1939, and only minor details are modified. So from 1940, the Junior Scout had skirted fenders, like the rest of the Indian family, which is why that's very, very identifiable on Indian. Dorothy still has the open ones. And the price in 1937 for this bike was $195. And it is notable, though, that this bike does have a fold-out infant seat ahead of the saddle, which was probably meant for Toto. So this is according to Supernatural Wiki. Despite the motorcycle being built between 1937 and 1939, and Dorothy was imprisoned with the witch in late 1935. No matter, that does not matter. But the bike has a seat for the fucking dog.
Well, she goes and she pulls out a mask.
It is a Tin Man's head. I believe it is a Tin Man's head.
It's a Tin Man's head. Yeah, it is. But more importantly, she reaches back into her saddlebag and pulls out a pair of red pumps. And Charlie very wisely asks, did you actually walk down the yellow brick road in those? And she is like, no, I never wore them. It would seem tacky wearing a dead woman's shoes.
In these shoes, I don't think so. So it does really kind of make you wonder, right? Has anyone actually been murdered with shoes?
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. So let's talk about some cases of things that have happened with shoes in our lore this week. In these shoes, I don't think so. I think it's what I'm calling it. And so a lot of this comes from a Vice.com article, The Rise of Stilettos as Murder Weapons by Siren Kale. But they didn't, the ones they talked about were the actual murder ones. We will get to a murder with stilettos. But so the first one they talked about was in 2006 when the New York drag queen Flotilla DeBarge was arrested and charged with assaulting two people with her stilettos at a West Village nightclub. Several witnesses said DeBarge did not start the fight. The shoes were used as evidence into the case, and she changed her plea to guilty for 2 counts of assault with intent to cause physical injury with the weapon, and was sentenced to 45 days in Rikers, which is ouch. In the UK in 2013, there was a fight between two friends on New Year's Eve, and 21-year-old Melissa Kauser, she stomped onto her friend Sophie Robinson's face with her silver stiletto heel, puncturing her right eyeball. And Robinson is blind in one eye. Kauser was sentenced to 7 years in jail, and they're no longer friends. And they may have reconciled since then. But the last story is we're taking this back to Texas for, in Houston, 2014, 45-year-old Ana Trujillo was convicted of bludgeoning her boyfriend, Dr. Stephan Anderson, to death by hitting him 25 times in the head with a bright blue Manola Blahnik stiletto shoe. To demonstrate to the jurors how she did it, the prosecutor, John Jordan, climbed on top of a table and straddled a mannequin and pantomimed stabbing it with the shoe. Why am I never on this fucking jury? They also had the shoes, which were super bloody out the whole time. And like they had x-rays of the shoes, and in the Manolo you can see like there's like the silver spike that goes through it, like a very dangerous looking spike. So Trujillo claimed that it was self-defense. However, after 20 witnesses testified to her previous bad behavior, including biting an ex-boyfriend, drunkenly attacking a security guard, and another incident in which her neighbors arrived home and found her using the bathroom in their apartment, the jury took 4.5 hours to sentence her to life in prison, and she'll be eligible for parole in 30 years. Wow. So our shoes are deadly. Ta-ta.
Mm-hmm. Well, and almost every heel, like, so not everybody realizes this, but almost every like spike heel, like not even a spike, every pump has a metal spike in the heel pretty much. It's structurally required for the heel.
Which is why you cannot wear them through the metal detectors in the airport. You dumb bitches. Take your fucking heels off before you go through TSA. Sorry, I get very frustrated, and you're behind them. They're like, but no, I have pre-check. I don't have to take my shoes off. I'm like, you're not magically clearing it from not alerting on the metal detector, you dumb bitch. So sorry. Take off your heels. Unless you really
want the wand. Unless you
want the wand. Don't take off your heels. Don't kill people with them. That is my TSA for. Not TSA, my PSA. My PSA for the TSA. Take off your heels and don't kill people with them.
Well, while they're all excited about having these heels now, our red heels, which they weren't sparkly. I'm just going to complain.
No, and you also know in the books they were actually silver, and then they got changed to red because they went to Technicolor.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so
the boys are now green-eyed.
Boys are there. I'm sorry, I lost my find my notes. Here we go. So the boys appear, and Dean does a super deep voice. There you are, and Charlie's like, "Is that your Batman voice?" And I'm really amused because, as we all probably know, there's this ongoing saga of Jensen as Batman,
and he actually is Batman.
He has Batman in the cartoon.
Yes. He plays Batman in the cartoons, but also
no, I know, but it's always funny. But it's just funny.
One more time.
So it's just funny that
yes, that was also a funny crack before. Yes.
So anyway, so they're possessed, and Sam says, "I missed you, my pretty," which is really funny.
So their anti-possession tattoos do not work with the witch, right? And I think it's also interesting. It's really not. I mean, it is a possession, right? She seems to be working through.
But it's more like a puppetry thing as opposed to a possession,
and using them for like as her voice, right?
Yeah. It's weird. I don't know. And how is she doing two at once? That seems weird.
She's multitasking like an amazing witch. I mean, she's got some shit down. And like after Dean throws Charlie through some glass, then we see she's also pulled out a bowl. She's got a cloak. Like she is just like ready to do some action.
She's got the key, and she is going to use it, and she's going to do a spell. And so as this is happening, we figure out that the witch is not trying to go to Oz. She wants to bring her army to this world. And so she's doing this spell, going to open the door. We've got a fight happening. She gets the door open.
Like a motherfucker.
And we've got roiling clouds and cackles.
The key also looks like a vape.
It does kind of look like a vape. It looks like a Halloween themed vape that you'd buy at Spirit Halloween. New product idea. You're welcome.
You're welcome,
you're welcome, Spirit. That's what you need is more ideas of crap. And so Charlie kicks Dean in the nuts.
But she's also like, there's more cackling, which then that also led me to like, how well can you cackle without a tongue? Like, isn't the tongue part of the cackle? Like, she didn't be like, I don't know, but like, I feel like she should sound more
like
confident.
a gurgle.
Maybe. I don't know. But she's cackling very good on her. She's not only multitasking, she has learned to cackle without a tongue.
Yeah. And Charlie kicks Dean in the nuts.
In the nards. Right in the nards.
Mm-hmm. While Dorothy stays fighting Sam and Dean, Charlie goes to stop the witch.
And Dorothy has thrown the other shoe at her. So now she's running with like both the shoes.
Both shoes.
I hope she's running with both of them, like heels out, just to Wanda.
Well, we've got our possessed Sam and Dean apparently can hurt Dorothy, which is an interesting twist also, since the witch can't directly hurt Dorothy.
But she can use the puppet people can. Okay, anyways. Sure. And so then the witch is having some spell issues. Oh, sorry, we already missed that. So we have the fly monkeys that are coming. And then here comes Charlie.
And witch gets a pump straight to the back of the skull. Gross. Can you, like... It makes me want to throw up a little bit.
Well, and then she says, "Now heal." And then she hits her in the face with the heel. So now she's got a face.
No. Charlie, you shouldn't have said that.
So bad.
And
anyways, the flying monkeys don't get to come here.
They don't. And Charlie closes the door just in time. But as she does, she realizes the witch's body has now disappeared.
Nope, and we just melted. Yeah, she just wakes like there's just nothing left but a cloak, a cauldron, and some heels. And I wake up like this often on Sundays.
But she does find the key in the robe, so that's good.
That's good.
And Sam and Dean are no longer possessed, and they come to find Charlie with Dorothy, and Charlie gets to say, "Ding dong, bitches."
She is very happy with this. She is.
Yeah.
And then, like, we get some sexy time with Crowley. They're, like, getting his little bondage gear all up on him again.
Yeah, of course. And he said, I like that he's, after all I did for mystifying gravity. Which I mean, I like a good Wicked reference.
Yes.
So.
I didn't know that was, I've honestly never seen Wicked, so.
It's so good. I like I would go see the stage play again. Anyways,
Wicked came out. I think after I'd already gotten my theater degree, and so at that point, like I was too old for it, and then, or maybe it was just like the younger people were really into it, and like I got tired of it. I don't know.
Everybody was very into it, and now it's going to be a movie, and all that.
I'm surprised they never made a movie out of it. I'm sure they were just waiting to get some money.
Ariana Grande's in it. It's a big deal.
As long as Kristen Chenoweth is in it, that's fine.
I don't think Chenoweth is in it.
So, okay. So, anyways. So we've got Sam.
She's a fucking angel on this earth. She's almost Dolly level.
I mean, she's like Dolly's handmaiden. Anyways, so we get Paper and Crayon and Sam storming off, and then we now get to have Baby in the garage.
Baby gets to hang out in the garage. What the fuck? Where was she? Anyway.
I know, but now she belongs there. It's so hot. I would just go sit. I just want to go sit in that garage just for a little. I don't care if I get some like fume. I'll yeah. Anyways,
well, Charlie and Dean are gonna have a convo, and Sam gifts Dorothy a copy of The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. And
I'm sure she's like, I've got 9 million copies of this in my fucking garage. Like, aww. I don't want to see this goddamn book anymore. Why do you think I don't have a copy of it?
Maybe she doesn't. Remember, she was all like shitty about the book, so she might not have it.
Sure.
And Charlie thanks Dean for the slumber party and for bringing her back from the dead.
Oh, there was also a very good line in there where there's like, it's our story and we get to write it, which I think is also on like on a mug or maybe probably on like painted on someone's inspirational.
And Dorothy says to Sam something about it's how weird it is being having a series of books about you.
Yes, and then Sam's like, oh, I know. All right, so we get Charlie thanking Dean for the slumber party and the resurrection.
And she asks if she's a zombie now, but Dean's trying to deny it. And then he finally is like, all right, just keep this between us. And she wants to argue, but he's like, no, I'm just going to explain later. It's fine. Dorothy decides to thank them all for their help. Not bad for a bunch of librarians.
She leaves her bike there.
Yeah. And I've got a rebellion to finish. So she's going to go back to Oz and invites Charlie to go with her to finish the rebellion and to find Toto.
Help me find my dog.
Yeah. So, yeah. Charlie is going to go with Dorothy. They use the key, and the yellow brick road is ready to lead them to the Emerald City.
Yeah, but she wants the adventure and the danger. And I know this is the song thing or your things, but I don't care. So AC/DC's For Those Who Are About to Rock, Salute You starts as they're walking through. And oh my God, I just get so emotional. I'm so jealous and like just tear up. Like you're on your adventure and you're gonna find a dog and you're gonna like go see some monkeys. Like this actually sounds probably what I'm gonna do next week. I'm gonna go to adventure. I'm gonna go see if the cat cafe in Blackpool is still open, so I'll go find a cat. Yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, they go off to go rock.
Yeah.
It was cool. I liked it. I like that effect.
Was good. Yeah. And so, what I was I want to say one thing about this, like the episode. I think.
We weren't done yet. There was one more thing.
There is.
Yeah. So when the doors close, so like they walk off to there, and then the doors close, and then the boys open them back up, and now there's just a tunnel exit. So now we have a tunnel exit into so now it's clear. Now we have a way for baby to get in and out.
Yeah.
So that's what the episode is with the tunnel. But then it also makes me want to be very like cartoony and run things through the tunnel.
Well, I thought it was really clever in the episode in general because it took me look, when they say Dorothy, I don't automatically go, I think they're making a Wicked Witch joke at the beginning of the episode, but I'm like, oh, we're not really going full Wizard of Oz. Oh, we're going full Wizard of Oz. Okay. So I think it was really cool that they used the visuals in this episode to have the black and white with a touch of color and then flopping back and forth. And then Slumber Party, because there's also the movies Wizard of Oz, it's the implication that she may have just been sleeping the whole time. So I thought that was some interesting overlaps and story tie-ins.
Cool. Do we have some casting people to talk about?
Casting couch. It's the casting couch. Were they on that show that time with that guy? La 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 la.
I do. So our cast this week is we've got James Haggerty was played by Gildart Jackson, and he was Simon in General Hospital like dozens and dozens and dozens of times. He's been in episodes of Las Vegas, CSI, Hannah Montana, Burn Notice, and Gotham Knights. He's also Gideon in the TV show Charmed, and Gilbert in Atlas Shrugged 2. Dorothy was, I'll come back to Dorothy. Peter Jenkins was played by Andrew Jenkins. That's weird.
That's
right?
fun.
I know. He has, I've seen him in episodes of Wayward Pines, a few episodes of Once Upon a Time. And it was Doug in the series Siren. Our Wicked Witch, who you like so much, was Maya Massar. She's been in episodes of Unsolved Mysteries, Outer Limits, and House, and was Mother Buckner in The Cabin in the Woods.
That's Mother Buckner.
Dorothy, I do not believe I can say the actress's first name. Canatio is my best attempt. Horn is last name. She is from the Kanawake Mohawk Reserve outside of Montreal.
Oh, cool.
So, you may have seen this actress in episodes of shows like Being Human, The Detectives, and Reservation Dogs. She has also had a small bit roles in movies Journey to the Center of the Earth and Immortals, multiple episodes of The Man in the High Castle, and Tanis in Letterkenny.
She definitely very much is fucking Tanis from Letterkenny. And if it helps you, she also goes by Tio. So, like, that's an easier thing to say than her whole first name.
Yes.
But, yeah, she is fucking in Letterkenny. She's, oh my God. And
Tanis
she's so,
is a bad bitch.
She is so good. She's, like, one of my favorite characters. She's
bad bitch.
Just, I love her. Do we have more people to talk about? Okay.
I saved her for last. So I was like, I'll come back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I love like the idea of pairing her with Felicia Day, like either as a buddy comedy or a relationship. Like, I don't care. I would watch either of these things. Like them going to Oz, like to lead a rebellion, like full of freedom fighters to take down the fucking wizard. Yeah.
That's hilarious. Yeah.
I watched shit out of that. So I also hope Toto's like a pity. Like, we're gonna go find Toto, and it's just like, whoa! Or a big old, like, Rottweiler or something.
I would love that. I don't think it would fit on the little seat on the Indian motorcycle then, though.
I mean, then you go into a sidecar.
Yeah.
And then you get a dog in a sidecar. And who doesn't love a dog in a sidecar?
Everybody loves a dog in a sidecar.
Except until you get a goat in a sidecar, which I will get, you know. So yeah, no, she was. I mean, I think she was amazing in this. She's amazing as an actress. I think she was amazing in this episode. So
yeah,
she was a fun hoot to add to this. So
hoot. But I'll note it looks like this is the only episode she's in, so I don't think we get a return.
No, she does not come back. But we know it's the storyline of this obviously is not over. But so we'll find out more. I mean,
yes. Spoiler
alert: Charlie's not gone. Especially since Felicia Day will be at the Austin convention in just a couple of weeks.
Just a few weeks away.
So, overall though, episode thoughts?
It was fun. I thought it was super fun. It seemed like I'm not gonna lie, it was a little like there's parts I thought it was kind of cheesy.
It's definitely a cheesy episode. I think there was some things that were
okay.
That were pushed into it, but also there was. As much as for someone who hates flashbacks, like this is the fun way to do it, right? There was, like, I felt like they cut back and forth between the past and the present in a good way that didn't upset the episode.
Yeah, and I think sometimes like some of the dialogue with it was cleverly done, like you pointed out when they did like that cut to the dead end. And then I liked that it was actually, they've done this before, so it's not unique to this episode, but I liked that it was the black and white versus color. I think made it easier as a viewer to keep clear as to what setting we were in at that moment in time, which I think makes a more comprehensible storyline. Does that make sense?
Yeah, especially if it's the same actress, right? And so we had Dorothy being in both present and future. And so if you're going to be doing that back and forth, color,
you have to have some way to differentiate.
Yeah, and then of course, obviously, we have Wizard of Oz going back and forth to that. So that was just just a fun thing they did. So it was a super adorable episode. It wasn't a bummer. We do have we have the eye things and our cock smokes going crazy and. I mean, from a storyline, though, we definitely have Dean being a lying douchebag and dancing around the truth, and it's just going to bite you in the ass. You just can't. You can't keep lying. And Sam is already starting to catch on. Something's off.
I mean, and they never had Charlie. Charlie never finished her downloads, and she never set up the angel. And she never set up the angel tracker.
So let's see if that happens in the next episode. So we don't. Well, she's gone. So I mean, maybe hopefully it didn't. I need to install an update. That was just going to crash the system. So we'll see. We'll see what happens if she needs to come back. And it's just a patch. It's Patch Tuesday. We're just going to run this directly in prod. So, all right. I think on that nerd note, for those about to rock and everyone who is dealing with that, we do salute you. And beyond that, cheers, Dirk.
Cheers, bitch.
Devil's Trap Podcast is a Don't Get It production. Meow.
Devil's Trap Podcast is part of the Ship It Studios Podcast Network. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Devil's Trap Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Devil's Trap Podcast, Twitter at Devil's Trap Pod, or you can email us at devilstrap@devilstrappodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe, leave reviews, and share with all your friends. We're at all your favorite podcast outlets and at devilstrappodcast.com. I'm Babe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.